Do you get skeptical every time you see something that's super viral?
Oh, 100%. 100%. People think the media tells you what happened. The media, its specific job is not to tell you what's happened. It's to prepare you for what's about to happen. The simplest example of this is Diddy beating the shit out of Cassie in the hotel. That clip came out, and I said to Tristan, Diddy's going to jail. And he said, why? I said, have you seen the clip of him beating up Cassie? He said, is he going to court for that? I said, no. He's never to this day been charged with that. I said, it's nothing to do with that. They are trying to prepare the public and prepare the public's minds that he is a bad person and deserves jail. 1 week later, he was arrested. Was he charged with beating her up? No, that's on video. Wasn't charged with that. How did I know that was a setup? Because that video is 15 years old. Why would they hold on to a video for 15 years and never release it? No one ever saw it before. Then it pops up out of nowhere. Then he's arrested. Because if they just arrested him out of nowhere, people would be like, hey, not Diddy, I like his songs. No, they want everyone to believe you're guilty before you're even found guilty. So they had to release the video to set him up. Why?
Can you explain that more? The gradual disclosure thing?
Absolutely. So the media is specific. It's almost like the media makes things come true. It doesn't report what happened and what's true. It makes things come true. So let's look at my example, for example, and I think this explains it. If I wasn't there, the video wouldn't have gone viral. Why? Because they're trying to lock me up for being a hateful person. So they have to take anything they can get and push to the public constantly and endlessly, not because I am hateful, but to convince them I'm hateful so they can lock me up for being hateful. That's what the media does. It shapes narratives. It doesn't report what's going to happen. It shapes the narrative. COVID is the perfect example of this. They tell you about all the people who are dying in China and falling over in the street. I never saw that, did you? The Italian hospitals being full. Never saw a full hospital, did you? They shape the narrative, and then COVID becomes real from nothing. That's the media's job, to predict the future. If you watch the media with the right lens, with the right mindset, if you're perspicacious, my favorite word, when you watch the media, you can see the future. That's how I make so much money. I sit and watch the media and I go, I know what's coming. I know what's going to happen here. I know what's going to happen there. They start talking about Putin, or they start talking about this. I was like, okay, I saw the Ukraine-Russia war coming. You can see these things if you read the media or watch the media because they're preparing your minds to accept the bullshit they're about to pull off. That's all they've ever done. So the reason that video went viral, just so everyone at home understands, is because I am the only one of the group who is going to be facing charges related to that video or related to something else. And they're going to use that video as evidence to conclude, oh, yes, he said this about women. And look, he also said that, well, he didn't play the song, but look at the kind of company he keeps. I'm the one who has to go to court for all of this. Only me, none of them. Me. And they're preparing the public for everyone at home to sit and go, well, yeah, he probably didn't rape that girl, but have you seen, he says that stuff about Jews and he's really extreme. He has a big mouth, so, he got himself in trouble. Fuck him. It's all a psyop.
Theoretically, do you think this applies to multiple forms of media?
I think it applies to basically everything, especially the internet. The things that are supported or boosted or retweeted. Most of the accounts on the internet now, I have a theory, 90% of them are fake. I can't tell you what I know, Jack, but let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask questions. I'm a dummy who's just asking questions. If you're an intelligence agency, it's your primary objective to keep stability within your country, prevent terrorism, prevent extremism, and keep your country relatively stable. Would you agree?
Right.
Okay. So to do that, you try and push ideas in the education system and with the media, and culturally, you have your ideas that you want people to believe in. So you push them via your mechanisms, which are the schools, which are the newspapers, which are the TV, and you push these ideas out as much as possible so people adhere to them so that your country remains stable. Would you agree? So if somebody has ideas which are counter to these ideas, yes, they're a national security threat, but then also they could be a national security asset if they change some of their opinions, for example. Would you agree?
Yes.
So if you're an intelligence agency for a Western country and you identify somebody who's in this position, would it be appropriate to assign a handler or attempt to honeypot him or approach him with an offer or have people come and speak to him or explain to him why he's in the position he's in? Considering this is just one guy with all this influence, which is causing all these problems, don't you think a security apparatus would apply some form of human intelligence to this individual?
Right.
And then this individual would understand things about how the world works, which he was told from people who run the world. And he would know exactly what he can and can't say as to what's going to get him killed or not. They'd literally say to him, in this hypothetical.
Did you see my video about this?
No.
Tristan replied to it, and we had someone who trains intelligence on the podcast, and he walked through this scenario. He said, Jack, they would sit you down at a bar, and they would say, would you consider yourself a patriot? And then they would show you every piece of search history, everything you've ever watched.
I mean, you don't want anyone to get hurt if they misunderstand your ideas, right?
Right.
I mean, you're not a bad person, but you're saying things and some people don't quite understand them and they might take it to extreme, you know? In this hypothetical scenario, he was hypothetically approached by 4 or 5 different agencies. Let's say the Israelis tried. Let's say the British tried. Let's say the Americans have tried. And they've told him exactly what he can say and he can't say. And they explained that probably around 90% of the interaction you are currently seeing on the internet is fake. Everyone's by themselves. If you accidentally cross over into someone else's sphere, you just read all the crap that's being sent at them and you join in. None of it's real anymore. How have the governments, as completely corrupt as they are, remained in power? Considering we now have unlimited access to information and can communicate instantly globally around the world with anyone. So how the fuck did the people who are corrupted to the core stay in power? Surely the internet was a panic moment for them. Surely they thought we have to shut this the fuck down. But now it's bigger than ever. Are the people who are in charge of the entire planet stupid? I mean, people seem to they go, our politicians are idiots. Look at the state of the country. You think it's fucked because they're dumb? Or do you think it's fucked because they want it fucked? Like, are you so ignorant that you think they're ignorant? They run the fucking world. And if you're a smart person who's not in their club and starts to do really amazing things, you end up joining their club. So let's also argue, not only, I'll ask you a question. Are the people in charge of the world idiots? If the answer to that is no, my next question is, are the people who are in charge of the world pretty good at convincing all of the world's best talent to join them? I mean, considering they can shoot you in the fucking face. The answer is yes. So the best people on the planet do what? They rule the world. So are we going to sit and pretend that they've just let us all get this big group, this big club, where we can all sit there and just talk to each other and fucking, oh, hey, I think, and just work it all out? The Arab Spring, which was a revolutionary moment in world history, was all caused by the internet. When Tunisia and Egypt and all these countries started overthrowing their leaders in 2015, I think it was, or 2005. I can't remember if it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I think it was 10 years ago, 2015. That was all an internet-led protest. The internet itself was the weapon used by the US government to overthrow all these other governments. The America got a fucking hard on and thought, we don't need to even bomb countries anymore. We can just set up fake accounts and we can cause riots anywhere and we can control everything. And then Donald Trump won the presidency in 2016 and they were like, oh shit, the internet was now used to choose an American president that we didn't want. We use the internet to choose a president that we did want somewhere else, but it turns out that can also be used against us. This was in 2016. Because Donald Trump was the first internet president because the news hated him, the media hated him, everyone hated him. The polls said Hillary was going to win 99%, but the internet saved him. So the internet got proved to be an extremely powerful tool. So now there's one of two scenarios. The people in charge of the world go, oh, well, we've lost control of the world. People are on the internet and they've worked out the truth. They ignore the news and they choose their own leaders. Doop-de-doo. Or did they think, let's hit him with Russiagate. Let's try and get him impeached. And let's get in control of this again. We have to fix this problem. We can't turn it off, but we can perhaps influence what people see. Perhaps. This is 2016. This is 10 years ago they started working on this. Here we are now, and you scroll Twitter. Does it even look real? Think about it. Like, that's not real. This is not real. None of this is real. These aren't people. This is not real. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is not real. This is a psyop.
You have to view it as though this thing is actively trying to manipulate me.
A machine has analyzed I'll talk about from personal experience. A machine, and perhaps because I'm so important, some high-level psychologists have analyzed my page and done a profile on me specifically, and they have gone to an algorithm and specifically trained bots to make me believe things that they want me to believe. My feed and my experience is all completely aimed at me, and it's the same for everyone.
And it's not just the comments.
No, it's everything. It's the things you see. It's the comments that are sent at you. It's the pictures you see. They know what you click on. All of it is designed. It's a fucking psyop. You're alone in a desert surrounded by machines. Because that's how the elites have regained control. Because they lost control in 2016 with the internet when Donald Trump first became president. And now they don't seem to be panicking anymore. Like, they're not really worried. Everyone's awake and aware to what's really going on. Everyone's awake and aware to how the government is corrupted. Everyone understands their money's being stolen. Everyone understands they've been lied to for every single war. Everybody knows COVID was a scam. Everybody knows their taxes are a scam. Everybody knows everything, but nothing happens because they're subdued by the algorithm. A smart man I once knew said the psyop is convincing you to talk about the psyop. So we have people who understand the whole world's fucked up, and instead of doing something about it, instead of improving their own life, instead of going out there and doing something good, they're sitting online typing about anti-Semitism, and they think they've escaped the jail. Why? Because their whole feed is what? Anti-Semitism, and they want to join in, and they think they're fucking smart now, and they've worked it all out. It's a fucking trick. They have decided we can no longer hide the truth from the population, so instead, we're going to manipulate them with this very careful selective outrage, false accounts, false version of reality, where that although they know everything, they stay subdued and they continue to do what? Because you know what all of these people who know the truth about everything still do? Work and pay taxes. I know the world's a scam and I'm sick of those fucking Jews. You know what? COVID was a scam and the elections are rigged. Here, IRS. Those Somalians stole all my tax money. Here, IRS. What the fuck? The fuck? Do you think you're a freedom fighter? Charlie could actually move people. That's what they were scared of. Charlie got people away from the algorithm. Come to this place and sit on this chair. He has to die. But if you're a guy, I can get 100,000 people on my podcast show. Oh, so they're all at home. Cool. They're at home reading the comments. That's fine. You do your podcast. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. None of it's fucking real.
Do you think these influencers know how much bot activity?
Nobody knows. Nobody thinks. If everybody is aware that the world is a scam, why is the world not on fire? Everybody is being subdued by these algorithms. Everybody is a fucking digital eunuch. They're sitting there with their balls cut off. The most revolutionary man you can find and you can name spends most of his time scrolling, bro. Oh, yeah, I'm a freedom fighter. Da, 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 da. Watch him get bored for 5 minutes. What's he going to do? Scroll TikTok or play a video game. Genuinely, you can name anyone now who tells the truth, and I guarantee he spends most of his time playing video games.
But do you think there's some influencers, and I can't say any names on this because I can't think of any good examples, who are being pushed and they don't even realize they're being pushed?
Oh, 100%. Every famous influencer within the traditional matrix is being pushed specifically by the matrix for a reason. Mr. Beast is being pushed for a reason. This is why he had to let one of his crew go tranny. That's not in fashion anymore, so they don't talk about that. But when he was at the height of his popularity, one of the people with a wife and a kid randomly decided to become a tranny. Why? Because it was the most watched channel in the world. So they approached him and said, "We've made you famous. We made you. And we made you not for you to do stupid game show bullshit. It was actually for you to convince everyone at home that being a tranny is great. So which one of you wants to cut their fucking dick off?"
Or maybe they just controlled that person's algorithm.
And maybe he met some people online who convinced him. Friends. Some friends on Discord. Never saw them, but they're real friends. is narrative that is deliberately being shaped. This was first done during COVID. Do you remember when COVID first came and people would tweet out their symptoms? There were these stupid accounts who would say, oh my God, I have COVID and my throat is so bad. And then they wrote these little paragraphs and it got like 55,000 retweets. Do you remember this? Not many people remember this. Find them. And they were everywhere, convincing everyone to be afraid of this disease. That was all fake. That was the beginning of it. If they want, for example, me to definitely end up in jail, or for people to accept that I get shot in the head, or to get myself in trouble, or for me to lose cover from a nation that's decided to protect me because they believe I'm innocent. If they wanted me to get in trouble, what they would do in this hypothetical scenario is take a nightclub event and then bought the replies that I sold out to try and convince me to psyop me into standing up and doing something stupid. Do you understand what I'm saying? And then people who read the comments, because they're sheep, they'll see everyone else calling me a sellout. So they'll be like, and they join in.
Right.
And before you know it, I've set myself on fire and I'm dead.
Our last podcast, you said, that's a good question 17 times, I think. And I posted a clip of it. And you know what all my comments are on my podcast now? Jack, you ask really good questions. Jack, you ask great questions. And I'm like, damn, that actually works.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Absolutely. So not only can they shape a narrative, but they can use the narrative shaping to force action. If you're, for example, Candace, who I love, I am a fan of Candace. I will ride for and protect Candace to the end. But if she presents 5 theories on why something happened, and one of them is getting a bunch of traction positive, that doesn't mean it's true. In fact, it might mean the opposite.
Charlie Kirk was a time traveler.
My point is, we're now at a stage with the internet where it is so heavily manipulated by government agencies. Nothing you read is real. All the people you think you're interacting with aren't real. And the ones that are real are psyoped by the other accounts that aren't real. So everyone's a fucking bot. Everyone's an agent. And they're convincing people to do very silly things. You could be a nobody retard streamer and sell out everybody who's ever tried to help you, even people who are more important than you, believing you're getting likes and clicks and believing you're doing the right thing and believing, people like me now. And you're just destroying yourself. And the system is keeping you there where you belong as a fucking nobody. So I know things that I've been told from credible sources. And basically everything that you're currently experiencing online is a fucking scam. When you're on the internet, you need to consider yourself alone. You need to approach the internet like, I'm alone here. And I'm actually, for the first time, directly interacting with the simulation, like the Matrix movie. I'm going to talk to the head of the machines, and all the sentients are around me. All the machines are around me, the agents are around me, the hologram programs, the sentients, the machine mind is here. I'm here to talk to the machine and understand what the machine is trying to convince me of, what it wants me to do. But there's no people here. This is empty. This is a desert. I'm here by myself. Because the feed, the algorithm that I am being fed, may not have any real people on it at all. And the other real person who's logged in has a brand new algorithm, different than me, a different For You page, and he has a whole new different set of bots convincing him of different things. The liberals have their circles, the conservatives have their circles, we're at war, everyone has their own circles, reading their own bots, feeding them their own things. No one's talking to each other, we're all isolated.